Hello and welcome to Loud Creations. Today I'm going to be making a Passionflower Mugwort vanilla Cyser. So it's kind of like a metheglin melomel. No, it's not a melomel. I mean, I guess it is, but it's a Cyser. I don't know. It's so confusing. Melomel is mead that's made from fruit. Metheglin is mead that's made from herbs, and then Cyser is apple mead. So I'm going to call this one Passionflower Mugwort Cyser. And I'm doing this for the new moon in Scorpio that is coming up. And I picked my ingredients like I do every time based on the astrological signs for the new and full moon. So this new moon is in Scorpio. The full moon is going to be in Taurus. And so I tried to pick herbs and spices and fruit that are associated with those signs. So let's get started. First thing that I did was I made some tea. Now, the last couple metheglins that I've made, I put the herbs directly in to fermentation. And this time I'm going to go ahead and make a tea. I'm playing around a bit to see what I like better. And also these ingredients, I feel like it might be a little risky to put them in fermentation. You know, I just want to be sure. Mugwort, I read, can have impacts on your liver if you take too much of it, and you know, we're also making it into an alcohol, so I just want to be extra careful. And then passion flower can have sedative effects. So I want to make this a little bit lighter and be safe about it. So, and like I've said in my other videos, if you're going to be using herbs and making mead out of the herbs, it's good to do your own research and or check with a professional to make sure that the herbs are safe for use. So this is scorching hot. I'm letting it steep as long as we are doing stuff here. So far it's been 30 minutes, but I want to make a really strong tea. And then the rest of the liquid in the carboy is going to be apple juice. And they didn't have the kind of apple juice I like, but I found this one and it has no preservatives in it. And so it should work just fine. No sugar added either. And yeah, before I get too far in, I'll just tell you up front what the ingredients are going to be. I have about 48 ounces of tea that I've made with the 15 grams of mugwort and 15 grams of passion flower. They are both dried. And that's been steeping for 30 minutes. It'll probably, I'm just going to leave it in there until I'm ready to pour it in so that it's extra strong. The rest of the liquid that goes in, like I said, is going to be apple juice. So I have a couple of these in case this isn't enough. I'm going to do lemon zest. I have these dried lemon peels, so I'll probably put just a couple little pieces in there. And today I am using Lalvin D47 yeast. I don't know if you can see that, probably not, but be using this. This is kind of my favorite right now. I will branch out eventually, I swear. And then I'm going to be adding Go Firm today. The Fermade O, which is the yeast nutrient, I'm going to be adding in staggered in increments. And so I'll do about a quarter teaspoon. I think it's 2.5 grams, but a quarter teaspoon, 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. And then on the 7th day, I'm going to try that this time, see how that works out. As far as the Go Firm, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon in some hot tea and let that kind of get going here. And then I will add a quarter teaspoon of grape tannin. I normally use black tea, but it seems like for these videos, I never seem to get that tea made. So I have this, and that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to go ahead and start with getting this Go Firm going. And I'm going to just use some of this hot tea, because why not? It's already hot, and from what I read, Go Firm likes it hot. So I'm going to add a half a teaspoon. Stick. I do have my scale, and for whatever reason, for the Go Firm and the tannin, I still like to use my measuring spoons, but this is approximately 2.5 grams. So I'm just going to drop that in there. Give it a little swirl and set it aside and let it wake up. And if I didn't mention at the beginning, which I don't think I did, I'm making 1 gallon. So all of these videos are basically going to be in 1 gallon. And today, usually I use my 1.5 gallon carboy if I'm going to be putting the herbs directly in for fermentation, just so there's extra room. Or you can use a 2 gallon brew bucket, which I also have. I don't feel like using it. So today I don't have anything extra that's going to be going in here. So I'm just going to start with the honey. So I didn't even finish talking about the ingredients. Let's see. Talked about apple juice, passionflower mugwort, 15 grams each, passionflower mugwort. Then we're doing 1 vanilla bean split, but I'm going to save that for secondary. So my second video on this, when I rack it after a couple weeks for the full moon, that's when I'm going to add in that vanilla. And let's see what else. We have our lemon zest, and yeah, I think we're covered. As far as the honey, I'm going to do 3¼ pounds because I want this to be on the sweeter side, and everything I have tends to go dry. So that's what I'm going to do. There's also sugar in the apple juice, so I'm trying to keep that in mind too. All right, so I have my gallon carboy on here, and I'm going to add 3 pounds, 4 ounces. Oh, wait, let's see if this changes the... And then in this bucket is honey from a local beekeeper that actually lives in the neighborhood. And I'm going to finish the rest of this off and pour it into the carboy, and I will be right back. Okay, so the honey is still slowly drizzling into the carboy. So I thought I would go ahead and take the tea bag out. I have my spoon that has been sanitized. And woo, this time I did use a mesh bag, and I'm gonna go ahead and press on it to get as much of the juices out of it. So I went ahead and pressed on the bag to get all the juices out because I do want this tea to be really concentrated. I am also noticing that my video is a little choppy, so I'm gonna have to putting that over there. And if this video gets a little choppy and weird, I'm probably gonna have to do some editing to fix it, if it's even fixable. So hopefully this is recording. Okay, so the tea is, here it is. I think this could be a disaster. Okay, so this is still kind of full, so I'm gonna pour a little hot tea in there. We'll see if that helps get it moving. If I stirred it, it probably would, but as it is, the tea's just sitting on top. But looks like I need to find another funnel. This one has like an indent on the tube, and it seems like it just slows everything down. But now I have tea and honey in here, so we'll see how this works. So while this continues to slowly drip into the carboy, I figured I could talk a little bit about the ingredients that I chose and why. And it's pretty brief. I like to go in more depth about the folklore and the medicinal and magical uses for the different herbs that I use in my secondary videos, or when I rack into secondary. So just to give a little bit of information about it, the sign of Scorpio is a water sign, and it is a fixed sign in the zodiac and one of the 4 fixed signs. And Taurus is one of the other 4 fixed signs. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Passionflower and vanilla are associated with the element of water, as is Scorpio. And so that's kind of how I loosely chose those herbs. And also passionflower, depending on where you look, is associated with Scorpio. The apple and the mugwort are associated with Venus, and Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so this is why I picked the herbs to kind of do my monthly mead making, metheglin making. So all my metheglin making is done on the moon cycles, and I try to pick herbs that are associated somewhat with the signs for the new and full moon, like I said earlier. Wow, this is taking forever. Okay, so the honey's in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my tea in, and then we're going to mix this up a little bit. Okay, so now that my tea's in there with the honey, I'm going to go ahead and use my bung, put it in there. Does not have a hole in it, so safer. And I'm going to just shake this up. So be right back. All right, so this is all mixed. I'm going to go ahead and add in my lemon peel, lemon zest. Same peel, I mean zest. You just don't want to have the, I'm going to just put a couple good sized chunks. Drop that on in there. What else do I want? I'm going to go ahead and add in the apple juice. Okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of space because remember I have that cup with the Go Firm in it that I'm going to have to add as well. I might just need one of these. It's got mighty foamy. Okay. I'm going to shake it up a little bit more. Make sure it's good and mixed. Oh, look at that. This is a foamy. I'm going to get a lot of oxygen in there anyway, so this is another reason why shaking it up is good. Get plenty of oxygen in there for your yeast. Hopefully I don't fill it up too high because sometimes it can overflow when the yeast get activated. This feels pretty room temperature, so I feel pretty safe about, well, here, about adding the yeast. Yeah, this isn't hot anymore. So you want to wait till it's back down to kind of like room temperature before you add your yeast because it will kill them off if you put it in when it's still hot. And also your gravity reading won't be accurate. So okay, here goes the Go Firm. It's getting kind of high. All right. Give it a little swish. Put that Go Firm in there. What am I forgetting? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and add in my little 1/4 teaspoon. My 1/4 teaspoon of tannin. This time I am going to take my gravity reading before I add in the yeast, just because. So incredibly foamy. Okay, so I spun the hydrometer and I have this feeling I made this super incredibly sweet. Let's move it over here. I can see better. Yeah. Okay. 1.124 is what I'm going to go with. If you can see, but this is really foamy, and then this beaker is not entirely clear. Next time I buy one of these, I'm definitely going to make sure that it is clear, because it makes it very difficult to read the hydrometer. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my yeast. I am going to put half of this packet in and try to save the rest, because I feel like I'm wasting yeast when I put the whole packet in, but sometimes it's just easier. Okay, I'm going to give it a little swish to mix in the yeast. Them going. Oh yeah, they're going to be happy. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to get our bung and airlock. Okay, so I got my bung and my airlock, which I filled up with sanitization fluid to the max lines. Stick that in there. Well, I'll find the cap in a minute. I'm also gonna use a rubber band to help keep this on in case the yeast go absolutely bonkers and blow the whole thing up. And when I put these in the closet, when it's kind of iffy about whether or not it's going to explode or boil over, or, I have a lid to a bin that I keep it on, like a plastic lid, and a towel to catch it. And that's been good enough so far. All right, and that's it for now. I will be back in a couple weeks when I rack this into secondary, and during that video, I'll talk more about the folklore and uses for the herbs that are in this Mugwort Passionflower Cyser. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you next time. Thank you.